Ladies and gentlemen, Adolfo here, local realtor in LA. So today I'm here with my good friend, Willy Escobar.
Hey everyone.
Who's a very successful loan officer.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And we're gonna talk about, is right now a good time to buy a home? So Willy, I have people asking me all the time, Adolfo, is this a good time to buy a house? Now, no, rates went up since last year. Prices went up. Our interest rates keep on going up. So what do you have to say about that?
It's a horrible time to buy. I'm just kidding. It's a horrible time to buy if you are trying to flip a property. It's really hard, I think, to come across deals. There are no such thing as deals. Of course, it's going to be like a hit and miss if you maybe know listing agents, know people that have pocket listings and they want to flip. Yeah, you're going to find something. But as far as, let's say, buying to invest for your family, invest for the future, I honestly think there is no perfect time to buy, first of all, right? Because usually when this rarely happens, but for the last, I want to say maybe like 10 years or so, rates were low, prices were low. That hardly happens, okay? However, here's the reality, is that if you are looking to hold on to the property for the next 15, 20, 30 years, I really think there is no wrong time to buy.
No, I'm glad you said that, Willy, because I've been in this business for a few years now, and people always ask me at different times of the year, is this a good time? Is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to buy? I'm going to wait 6 months. I'm going to wait a year. And
man, I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I mean, I don't want to put names, but I have clients last year that were getting outbid, but let's just say $10,000, $20,000, and they wanted to wait for the market to change. Guess what happened? Right, the market is changed, but it's gotten, I'm going to say worse, but interest rates went up. They were like, what, 3%? Right now, they're almost 6%. So that's gonna, what that does for a lot of buyers, not for a lot of buyers, but actually for all the buyers, it lowers their purchasing power, right, Willy? So let's say Willy wanted to buy a house and he qualified for $1 million. Now he's gonna qualify, for example, for $800,000. So that $1 million house that he wanted to get in Pasadena, he won't be able to get that anymore because just the bank won't give him that much money. Now, if you're someone who has cash, you can do whatever you want, right?
And most people don't have cash, but yeah, absolutely. With rates going up, that affects your purchasing power. I still recommend whoever is on the fence, man, if you're going to pay that 5.5%, 6% rate, you're just going to have to go for it, right? Because there's a few benefits to owning a property. Number one is talk to your CPA or tax preparer. There could be some tax benefits, right? Number two is, and actually my sister-in-law, Bianca, called me yesterday. She's been working with a lender and they're using this very simple, I want to call it pitch or just a very simple like advice to the consumer, is people are complaining that the rates went up, right? Man, they went up, man, we shouldn't buy anymore. Let's wait. So here's the question to people that are on the fence about buying. When is the last time your rent went down? Never. Here's the reality is that in California, I think this is the number, rents in the last year have gone up 17%. 17%. When rates have gone up, let's say maybe 2% in the last year.
So if your rent was $3,000, now it's probably like $3,400.
It's up there, it's crazy, but I just think that home prices will not come down anytime soon. I can't say what's going to happen in 2-3 years, but we have a shortage of inventory. Okay, there's no way the inventory is somehow magically going to appear where there's an extra 100 or million extra properties in California. It's just not going to happen. And I think that even they're saying that hedge funds, because they're seeing all of the appreciation, they're just buying a whole bunch of properties now, right? But so I think for the average person, man, get in there. It's never going to be perfect, and I do believe that it's a great investment. Man, we don't know. Like, let's say a property that maybe a year ago was 700,000, it's 900 now. Man, we don't know if that property is going to be 1.2 in the next year. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And the main point here is that a lot of people think that there's going to be a market crash, right? So, I mean, you've been in the game for a while. You've been in the real estate business for a while.
Yeah.
And so tell us, what's different now that was different back in 2008? That why we know, you and I know, that there's not going to be a market crash.
Right. So back in 2008, 2007, banks were making it so easy to buy a home. Like literally no money out of pocket, 100% financing, even closing costs, where you like squeeze the closing costs into the deal. Even the appraisal, literally someone with no money. And I believe the lowest credit score was a 560, 100% financing. You could literally have had a car repo 2 months ago, a foreclosure, and the banks, you know, they were just lending out easy money. Now, ever since the market crash, so what was it, like 14 years ago or so, everyone has had to qualify. So the amount of short sales, the amount of foreclosures that are out there, they're at an all-time low. Why? Because now people need to have a job. They need to have at least, let's say for FHA, not too bad, a 580 credit score with 3.5% down. But now they need to qualify with something called the debt ratio, which means that the bank is going to limit how much you qualify for based on your income and based on your debt. So I don't see the market crashing at all. People are employed. I don't know what the unemployment rate is, but it's very low, which means that people have money to pay for the properties.
And again, to make this short and sweet, I'm going to give you guys my opinion, right? So correct, right, Willie? The market is not crashing. We're seeing a market correction. So what does that mean? Homes are actually sitting on the market for a little longer. Yeah. So if you live, let's say in Pasadena or West Hollywood, and your house like yours will sell in about 3 days and you get 5 offers, right now, it's maybe going to take you 10 days, 2 weeks, and sometimes even price reductions. We're seeing a lot of price reductions in the past couple of weeks. Now, I'm not saying that your home won't sell or your home will sell for less. If you're a seller, it's just the market, it's taking a correction. So, which is great news for buyers. Why? Because there's less competition, right? You won't be competing with 20 plus offers, maybe now with 3 or 4. Yes, rates are high and we don't deny that. But guess what? You marry the house, right? You don't marry the interest rate. In 6 months to a year, there's a huge chance that rates will maybe go down and then you can refinance. Right, Willie?
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's say you buy at a 6% rate right now. Okay. And let's say property values still keep going up. We don't know that. If rates dip a little bit, you do have the option to refinance, right? So that 6% rate is it's not forever. I would say in the last 14 years or so since the market crash, most people they've refinanced after 2 years.
Yeah. So going back to the market crash, properties went down in value, but guess what? They went back up a lot. So that means that historically in US real estate, properties tend to appreciate, right? They may be a little dip, a little market correction like right now, but eventually your property value is going to keep going up more and more, which is going to give you equity, which is going to put money in your pocket. So that way you can become financially free, ideally at some point. So do you have any last thoughts, Willie?
Last thoughts is, if you have thought about being a homeowner, okay, now is the time. Okay, we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. We don't know what's going to happen in a year. Maybe you wanted to buy a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but you thought the market's going to crash. Things are going to change. Rates are at 2.75. Let me wait until they get to 2.25. Now, what happened? Obviously, things went up. So there is no perfect time to buy. Is there a perfect time for you to be a homeowner and, you know, show your family, okay, we're buying a home, right? We're doing things right. We're changing perhaps our generation, like breaking the chain of poverty and doing things right. Because I think that, right, we're both Latinos, and I'm sure a lot of our people watching are Latinos. A lot of Latinos, you know, they're afraid to buy property, right? Do I qualify? Do I not qualify? Do I need perfect credit? Dude, you could buy with a 580 credit score with only 3.5% down.
Interesting you say that. Now, you and I talk a lot about Latinos because I help a lot of Latinos, but I help everyone, every client of mine. But I think that's not just a Latino mentality, really. It's actually, from my experience, it's people that are first-time home buyers, right? It's like when you go to the gym, right? You're scared the first time, oh, I'm gonna be sore, right? Then you go, after a week, you're good. Same thing with buying a house. You buy one house, after that first experience, you're gonna be much more knowledgeable about the process, and you're gonna know what it takes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna buy your second property, your third property, and you won't be scared anymore because you know what it takes.
Yeah, I think that it comes down to a lack of knowledge, okay? Because I agree, it's not really just the Latinos, okay? It comes down to generations. Like, I'll share with everyone a quick story. My mom's been in this country for about 50 years. And many times when I was growing up, she was ready to buy a house. But then the layout wasn't right. It wasn't in the perfect city. Maybe she wanted 3 bedrooms, only qualified for 2. She backed out. So she never bought a house. Okay. Now what happened with me is I kind of developed the same mentality, right? I had some opportunities that came up when I was younger, and someone discouraged me. This one time, I was on my way to buy a condo in Santa Monica, brother. This was maybe 26, 28 years ago. The condo was 129,000. I still remember 129,000 in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. Wow.
Okay. What can it be worth now? Probably at least, right? And I was on my way there to open up escrow, and I called someone. I said, hey, by the way, I wanted this person's approval. That was the reality. I called the wrong person for their approval, and they discouraged me. They said, oh man, are you sure? It's a 30-year commitment, right? Man, you're still young, live your life, and don't worry about all those financial responsibilities. And I was like, man, I thought to myself, man, it's at 26, I already had my own apartment, I think. And I probably thought to myself, man, the payment for my apartment's probably like $850. And I'm going to jump into a $1,200 payment, whatever it was. Yeah, maybe I should just rent. That's more comfortable for me. So I backed out. But here's the thing is that whenever, and this is like advice for everyone here, whenever you're going to buy real estate, whenever you're going to get into something that is kind of a little bit foreign to you, do not talk to the person that is not doing that thing. Okay, so if you want to buy a home, don't talk to someone that doesn't own a home.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they might be afraid of buying just like you, and they're going to discourage you. Now, what you need to talk to is someone that owns a home. Hey, how is it owning a home? You've had it for 20 years. Well, what has happened in the last 20 years? Oh man, I have $800,000 worth of equity, and I have write-offs, and now we're refinancing, taking cash out, buying other properties. So you always have to watch the source of your advice.
Exactly. And the one last thing here, guys, is that Willy's right. Now, if you happen to just don't know anyone who owns real estate, you can come to us. You can find me, you can find Willy. We have a lot of experience helping people, first-time home buyers, investors, and people who also want to sell. So we'll tell you our opinion based on the way the market is, based on, of course, your individual criteria and your individual qualifications, of course. So with that being said, guys, it's been a pleasure, Willy. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate the invitation.
Of course. So we're gonna do more videos in the future. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment below. If you have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at the Adolfo Aguirre, and Willy, what's yours?
At the Willy with the Y, Willy Escobar, at the Willy Escobar.
And that's not on purpose, by the way. It just happened. All right, guys, that's it. We'll catch you on the next video.
All right, bye guys.